with the tank out, the next step was to clear away that underneath gunk so that we could expose the bare metal and see clearly where those spot welds are. First thing I tried was this pretty aggressive knotted brush on my 4.5 inch, and that was a little bit too much. It's pretty wide and it was just a little bit too aggressive. So what worked was something similar, but it had a much smaller and smaller in diameter overall and a lot more bristles. So that worked out pretty good, except for the corners, which I had to use a smaller wire wheel that fit on the electric drill, and so that worked out pretty good. I got it all cleared away, and the stuff that I couldn't get, I had to use some sandpaper and a wire brush. Then after that, it's find where these spot welds are and use the automatic center punch to try to get it all the way right dead center in the middle, and then another center punch with a 4-pound sledgehammer to make that a little bit deeper. From there, it's use the Blair type of rotabroach cutters. So we'll take a look at those in just a minute. Okay, there's a couple of different types of these Blair spot weld cutters. I'm using the standard one. It's an older style. It's got a point and then the cutters, which is, or it might be easier to see, replacement cutters. So 3/8 inch. And they have another one that they say is not going to skip. So this one's actually a drill bit. So I guess you're going to drill all the way through. And then they've got some replacement cutters on that. So this is a little bit spring loaded, and you just press it up against there and hit the drill, and you're on the way. The other thing that I noticed they had offered was a stick lube. So that's kind of a waxy lube, and I guess if you get hot, it's going to melt, and then lube that up. I recommend about 1,000 RPM for the speed of the drill, but I have not seen a hand drill with a tachometer on it, so good luck with getting it close to 1,000 RPM. I think the main thing is just not going too fast, and if you start smoking that lube, you can always back off and keep from dulling that bit. So anyway, that's the plan. Use these Blair tools. They seem to be pretty good. Okay, I wanted to point out what we did here to try to make it a little bit more comfortable is, since we had the van up pretty high so that we could easily drop out that tank, when we laid on the ground, our arms were like at maximum distance, so we propped it up. You saw us putting this all together, and it's like a little backboard, a little cushion, and a moving blanket, so that we're nice and comfortable, and also we have our arms at a good distance. It'd be nice if we could turn the van upside down and just get it from that way, but I don't think that's going to happen. After Jose has beaten on it for quite a while, we have gotten it out, and we're going to get some close-ups of this. It was fighting us quite a bit, and this is not something, these bars are not something you're going to see on most of them. Those were added for like a tow hitch.
Yep.
So we are going to put this down and then zoom in on all the places that there were spot welds.
Yeah, and the bars were definitely in the way of putting a spot welder into certain sections on the right side, left side. So that made it difficult. And as you can see, we had a grease and dirt bath right under there. So.
Yeah, it was raining a lot of this junk. So, and then when it was hitting that light, it was like smoking. I guess it was the grease content on it. So, okay, well, we're gonna put this down and get another closer look at it. Okay, this is the cross member. We finally got it out. but I wanted to zero in on where these spot welds were. So with the floor, where it is raised up underneath, that's where they're going to have those 2 spot welds. So we found 2 on each one. Then of course there's nothing there because it's raised up and you wouldn't be able to get to it. 2 there. This one was way off. It was on the side there. And then 2 more there.
This is how it would be.
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So, and they weren't really all lined up, but on every spot where the floor raised up and contacted that member, that's where there was a couple of spot welds. In addition, on the end, there were 2 on each side. And let's see, was there anywhere else?
3
On the side, yeah, the side.
3 on the side here.
Now this one was really tough because it's so close to that corner. It's hard to even get anything in there to clean it off and see it. No less a drill to get in there. And on this side, there was 4 of them, right? One side was...
Right. We thought it was 3 when we initially cleaned it, but when it came time to break these welds, there was a 4th weld on the bottom close to the 3rd one.
So that was your surprise weld there. That one right there, we didn't even see it until we started trying to break it loose, and it was grabbing onto that spot. So,
and then the last surprise were just these little small ones at the end when it was time to remove the whole thing. That's not a spot weld we reached easily, so we just kind of hammered it through.
So there you go, cross members out. We're gonna probably take those long bars off with a cutting wheel. They don't need those anymore, and it wouldn't work under there anyway with the differential being in the way.